Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin, we had the Fires of Idir-Sholaz, which may or may not be how you actually pronounce that. I really could never figure that out. But basically, Morgause decided to infect Camelot with this fever that knocked everyone out, and then she raised the Knights of Midir, excuse me. She raised the Knights of Midir to go in and kill Uther. However, the only people that weren't affected right off the bat were Morgana, Merlin, and Arthur. Merlin and Arthur were away when it all happened, so as they came back, started to try to figure everything out, and then slowly got sick over time, and then Merlin went to the dragon and was like, yo, what's happening? And he was like, hey, it's Morgana, you gotta kill her. And he was like, fine. So he went and he basically killed her. But Morgause came in and Merlin was like, yo, I will give you the poison that I used to kill her so that you can save her, but only if you end the attack on Camelot. And Morgause begrudgingly agreed, so we can assume that Morgana is alive. And then at the end, Merlin decided it was time to keep his promise and free the dragon. And we are moving on into the finale, of which I can only assume the dragon is the villain. So, yeah, that's basically that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Merlin, unfortunately it is not in this video due to copyright reasons. So what you gotta do, go down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video, and there will be a link there. You go, you click it, and it will take you to my reaction, my highlight reaction, with the footage in the corner. It's all edited and nice and good, and you can go watch it, and you can hopefully have a good time. I hope this is entertaining enough for you. Entertaining enough. That sounded so, douchey. Sorry about that. But hopefully it is entertaining. And then, once you're done watching that, you can pop right back over here for the discussion on this video for this episode of Merlin, which is always important to watch the discussion. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. And let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Merlin. Here we go. Okay, well, interesting. So it wasn't really a fight, per se, with Kilgharrah. That's such a badass name. It wasn't necessarily a fight, but more of just a, an intervention, kind of. Which is okay, and especially with what they've established about the Dragonlords, it makes sense, you know? It does make sense. It's an interesting way of ending it, you know? And, okay, with how this episode presented itself, it makes sense, you know, when I was like, oh, well, Uther, he killed all the dragons, so shouldn't he still be formidable? It's like, now we really understand how Uther did that and why one dragon is still a threat to him. Oh, boy. Oh, hey, we get to keep John Hurt around. That's nice. Oh, boy, oh, boy. That was a great episode, man. We got lore. We got... Merlin got a power boost. And wow, that was really good. I really like that. Okay, we might as well pop into the notes now. So the first thing I wrote down was Night 3. What a way to start the episode. Just immediately, we have been fending off the dragon for 3 nights. Like, oh, gosh. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was intense. And see, was kind of thinking they would do like an hours before, or like days before, and show the progression into getting to that. But no, nope. Camelot just had to friggin' hold up to all that time. Oh boy, that is crazy. But I like that, it does make sense with. It does make sense that the dragon would be doing this. Now, granted, in all of that time, he never encountered Uther, He never encountered Uther, which is probably for the best, because if he ever sees Uther, he's going to kill him. But it's like, he's taking this all out on Camelot, and he's not even getting Uther. It's like, man, this just sucks. This is just a vendetta, I don't know. It's like it's a vendetta, but he's not going after, the guy that locked him up. And okay, so we finally now understand how Uther killed how he killed all the dragons and locked up this one is because of the Dragonlords. So the Dragonlords could command the dragons. They were lords of dragons, They were lords of dragons and were able to command them. Uther used that to his advantage, killed all the dragons, then killed all the Dragonlords, and then used Balinor to bring him the final dragon. And Balinor said, I brought Kilgharrah to Camelot under the idea that Uther wanted to make peace. But it was a trick, and instead they locked up Kilgharrah. Uther betrayed him. And then, was going to kill Balinor too. Because while they're not sorcerers, the Dragonlords are not sorcerers, basically his reasoning was they are too close to sorcerers for comfort, basically. Like they're too similar, basically. So, Uther, being as paranoid as he is, just eliminated all of them. But Balinor was able to escape, thanks to Gaius, which seems to be a thing that happens a lot. That was kind of the thing with Morgause. Morgause escaped because of Gaius. So yeah, it is interesting, how much Gaius did help, because you kind of think like, okay, well, Gaius, he was on Uther's side, he still is on Uther's side, so he must have betrayed a lot of people. He must have betrayed a ton of people in order to still serve Uther. But at the same time, he did try to help them as much as he could. And Balinor was one of them. Speaking of Balinor, okay, I already have the cast list up. I have to check. He looks a little familiar. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, well. He looks familiar, but I got nothing. Oh, well. Okay, so Balinor, who... It's interesting that, we already pretty much immediately established that, Balinor went to, what was it, Ealdor? Is that the village that Merlin is from? Went there, had a wife, and then had to escape because Uther was pursuing him. And that's the thing, is that his wife was Merlin's mother, and so Balinor is Merlin's father, which we have said before. We have said, who is Merlin's father? They never mention it, really. So that's interesting that now we got Merlin's father, Balinor. Yeah, that's interesting, and I like, when they found him, and he is, living in a cave because he had to escape Uther's wrath, basically. And yeah, it was sort of like what happened to the dragon. It's the same thing. Because of Uther, Balinor, the last of the Dragonlords, was confined to a cave, basically, to stay out of trouble. The same thing basically happened to the dragon, is that the dragon, the last of his kind, the last of the dragons, was, held up in a cave, So that's interesting, the parallels between Balinor and Kilgharrah. We finally got a name for the dragon. I've been wondering for a while, it's like, does the dragon have a name? And yes, it is Kilgharrah, which is interesting. And something I didn't even mention at the beginning of this is, Merlin did try to attack Kilgharrah at first, using magic, and it just didn't do a damn thing to him. And, he's even like, don't think that your magic can affect me. He's all pissed. He's yelling like John Hurt does, Oh, man. John Hurt, by the way, incredible voice for Kilgharrah. He has been amazing in this, And just the fact that, now every episode ends, with the title. But since season 2, when the title pops up at the end, you just hear Merlin. So, it's perfect. So yeah, it's interesting because, we've had Kilgharrah constantly, helping Merlin throughout this show, and helping him with magic and everything. So yeah, it would kind of make sense that he would be a bit more powerful with magic, and Merlin is no match for him because he's the master. Merlin's still not a master of sorcery. So yeah. But you could also argue, I just thought of this, like, maybe you could also argue it's the difference. It's also the difference, like, if Merlin and Morgana got into a sorcery fight, you would almost think, well, Merlin has been using magic pretty much all his life. Morgana hasn't. Morgana is very new at this, So you would almost think it would be sort of the same way. Now, granted, we have no idea what the hell's going on with Morgana. It's entirely possible that she's going to come back and be, incredible. We'll have to see. That, like I said at the end of the episode, before we started the discussion, I'm watching this on Amazon Prime, and at the end of the episode, I turned off autoplay next episode. I hate it when streaming services do that. So I turned it off, but it still popped up, hey, do you want to go ahead and move on? It wasn't going to autoplay it, but it popped up like, hey, here's Merlin Season 3 if you want to start watching it. And all I saw was just the most evil-looking Morgana ever. And I was like, oh, no. But we did speculate, could Morgana be the villain of next season? I'm thinking it's very likely. So for season villains, we've had Nimue and Kilgharrah. Next, I guess will be Morgana. That sucks. I don't want her to freaking be evil. Why is Katie McGrath always evil? But whatever. Oh well. Well, why did she turn evil? I guess that's the thing. Not the point. The point is Kilgharrah. So, yeah, we finally got a name for the dragon. It is Kilgharrah. And it makes sense that Balinor wouldn't want to help them at first, It makes sense, and especially, it's like, this is, Uther's doing. He can suffer the consequences. Even after everything with, with Arthur saying, this, then you're basically, dooming Camelot. And he's like, oh, well, so be it. And it's like, and this is the problem, is that, and I feel like this is a problem with everyone that wants to take revenge on Uther Pendragon, is that everyone does it at the cost of Camelot, which is not good. Speaking of which, Kilgharrah, the dragon Kilgharrah, did not care who he killed. Like, he was, not only did he kill, innocent people and stuff, he tried to kill Arthur. Hello? What about this, grand destiny and the future and stuff like that? I don't know why Kilgharrah turned into Iroh for a second. It was like, all of this is like, hello, Arthur, but you could argue that Kilgharrah's motives for keeping this destiny intact and wanting, Arthur to become the king, all of this was basically just a way to break his, confinement. It happened early. It happened early for him, Merlin just did it. He didn't have to wait for Arthur, so screw him. Kill him along with Uther. So, I thought that was interesting that he was indiscriminately killing everyone and could have killed Arthur on many occasions. So, that's the thing, though, is that everyone going after Uther, I don't think, they never realize this, but if you are going against Uther Pendragon, then you have to get through Arthur. There's just no two ways around it, You have to get through Arthur. And for some people, they might not want to get through Arthur. Oh, boy. I wrote down debt. Balinor's debt to Gaius. Once they said, Gaius sent us to find you. And he remembers Gaius. Now he starts, basically, the people of Camelot kind of become real to him. Instead of just hearing, oh, the people will die. It's like, no, this guy that saved your life could die, So that's interesting, like, basically, it all became real to him, and he decided to go. And then we got, the reveal to Balinor that he is Merlin's father, which was a great scene. Kind of very little dialogue in there, but I liked it. Yeah, I really did like that. And, it's all, like, most of it was kind of in the facial, acting, basically. Which was really great. And, just watching all this sort of emotion just, kind of keep going through, Merlin's face, definitely. Like, that was incredible. There was a lot of good, face acting, basically. That was incredible. And then Balinor died. Balinor died. Which, when they were saying, oh, it'll be great. It'll be great to have him back. It's like, oh, after we save Camelot, I'll take you to Eldor to find my mother. I'll take you to see my mother. Yeah, I kind of figured that he would die. And throughout all of this, when it's like, oh, Merlin is the son of the Last Dragonlord, and it's like, did some of that pass on to Merlin? It's like, well, that would make sense if, that would make sense, actually. And the more we kept going, it's like, okay, it would make a lot of sense if Merlin became the Last Dragonlord and actually defeated the dragon, because it also makes sense because he's the main character, Show's about him. So it makes sense for Merlin to defeat Kilgharrah. So, yeah, I kind of figured Balinor would die, but I didn't expect it to happen just, like, randomly, like, because of those knights, Like, now, it was good. He sacrificed himself for his son, and he, passes on the title of Dragonlord to Merlin. That's all great. I like that. But I kind of thought it would be against Kilgharrah, I didn't think it would be that soon, but it worked because you would almost, I don't know, you almost think it'd be a Deus Ex Machina if he died against Kilgharrah and then Merlin took over and finished the job. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too much. I don't know. But doing it like that did work. And I did like, when when they figured out, it's like, oh, Merlin, he did face Kilgharrah, but it didn't work, and it's like, but the power and the title of Dragonlord can only be passed on from father to son once the father dies. It's like, well, that sucks. That does suck, but it worked, and so now that gives a reason why Merlin can defeat Kilgharrah now. So, yeah. So that was good. And then the last thing I wrote down was mercy. So, yeah, this is the last dragon, and it's like, okay, well, do we kill him? Do we kill Kilgharrah? And I like that, because it's like, okay, I was kind of thinking like, okay, well, why would Kilgharrah obey Merlin? It's like, I didn't quite understand how that worked. I thought it was going to be some sort of power that he had to control him or to kill him, but it was this language, you go to him as kin, you speak in this, basically this same voice, this kind of, ancient, this almost like ancient dragon language, which was amazing. And so that's the thing. It did compel the dragon to, stop. And he was under Merlin's command, basically. And instead of killing him, he did let him go. And he's like, look. But he did say, and I like this, if you ever attack Camelot again, I will kill you. But he is showing mercy. Basically, he is being the better man. He's being the better man than even his father was. Because he said that, when it's like, oh, you're just going to let all of Camelot burn. It's like, I will not help Uther Pendragon. And Merlin just says, then you're no better than him. It's like, he wasn't being the better man. He did come around, but still, at first, he was not the better man. He was exactly as bad as Uther. And so now, through all of this, Merlin retains being a better man. He's better than the dragon. He's not going to kill him. That being said, if he ever comes back, then we're going to kill him. Like, basically, we're giving you... he's giving Kilgharrah a chance. And it's like, okay, just go. Go. I'm showing you mercy. Now show us mercy. And I did like that. That was a really good way of doing that. And it does lead to the possibility that we will see Kilgharrah again. Now, next season might be kind of difficult for Merlin because he's kind of on his own now. Even this season, after everything that happened, after what happened, in season 1, when it's like, okay, well, when Merlin's like, I'll never let you out, and they weren't really on good terms, and then, Merlin had to go back basically with his tail between his legs and still get help. And throughout this season, he still went back and got help from Kilgharrah until now. It's like, yeah, that's over though. It's over. You can't go to him anymore. Merlin is on his own. He's going to need to figure out solutions on his own. And that will create an interesting dynamic next season. So, yeah, I am very curious as to what we're going to be doing next season. Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing, at least. That's the thing, is this was such a great finale, and this is only season 2. We got 3 more seasons to go. And I'm excited about that. So, yeah. That is pretty much that for this season. Excellent season. Really did like it. If there's one thing if there's maybe one negative thing, and this is a minor negative thing about this episode, I guess it would be Arthur, because there is a part of me that's like, when he's kind of getting on to Merlin about, why don't you say something? Or it's like, oh, normally, I would think it's great when you're quiet and stuff. It's like, some of that did get a little grating. I wish they would kind of tone that down a bit, especially because we've had that for a few episodes, It's like, honestly, I just want, I want him to be, brought in on this, but, still, we haven't had anyone, it's still just Merlin and Gaius that know of Merlin's power, so, And Lancelot, I guess. So yeah. I don't know, but it's a very minor complaint, basically. It's almost like, and you could almost argue like in this episode, Arthur is there, but he's not terribly involved, you know? I don't know. But when he's still like making wisecracks before they go fight Kilgharrah, I don't know. There was something about it that was a little off-putting. I can't explain it though. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But yeah, that is pretty much that. I'm still great episode, and I'm excited to get into next season. So with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.